Welcome to another edition of Live on Sunday, man. It is your gracious host, King Crowder here, back with another edition of Sunday Live that we talk about and we break down everything we see during the week. Number one, family, Crowder Gang. Comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, man. I'm so happy to see y'all in. I'm so happy to see y'all week got started. Me and my dog, Where McCall at, coming back to you with another one of another good topic, man. Today's thumbnail said, too loud,
What's up, fam?
too rough, too black. Mike, talk to me. How your week, family? Talk to the people.
We've been great, bro. Just got off. Just got off not too long ago.
Okay.
Hold on, gotta get myself right.
Talk to you.
Just got off not too long ago. I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling great. And we're gonna do what we do. I'm ready. I'm ready tonight, bro. I'm ready to give
it. Man, chop it up with
How
the
about
people.
you? How are you?
Man, it's been good, dog. Had a good week, Mike. Got a good next week coming up, man. Good. Got to chop it up with family. Got to have a little good time, man. Again, first month of April is almost done. Can you believe it, Mike? We've been chopping it up heavy. So we got to understand second quarter is in. If y'all got y'all goals, me and Mike been on top of it. So, Mike, you got to give people an update always. How's the journey been going? How's everything else?
All right. All right.
Atmosphere.
Weight loss update. I am 17 pounds down. As of last week, I finally stepped on the scale. Hold on. I'm just trying to get some better light. I'm sorry.
You good, fam?
I finally stepped on the scale, and I'm 17 pounds down with consistency.
17 down. Shout out to our dog. That's up.
Yeah.
Mike, and I want y'all to know something too, people. Mike put that in the atmosphere, and what we do here, we make sure we follow through. We ain't just talking. You feel me, Mike?
Another health journey. Stop brushing your teeth with fluoride. Stop it. Stop it immediately.
Mike switched up the toothpaste game.
I switched up to brushing my teeth with 3% hydrogen peroxide. Fluoride kills your enamel. It kills a lot of stuff in your teeth. I'm trying to find this toothpaste I saw on TikTok. It's out on a TikTok shop. It's called SPF 5. I mean, no, SP6. SP6 is the toothpaste. It secures enamel. It strengthens enamel. It heals cavities. It does so many things. But if you don't have that, I do recommend. I've been brushing my teeth now for 3 to 4 weeks with hydrogen peroxide only. Brushing my tongue. Don't swallow it all. Brush your teeth real good. Spit it out. Look at my teeth.
My dog is on fire. Did y'all hear that, y'all? Mike said switched up his health journey, his mouth journey, everything else. Mike, how's everything else been going on too for the people? I know you had something else.
Life is great. Had an interview this week.
Okay.
So just pray your boy get everything that he's prayed for. God has just been blessing, bro. I'm just more conscious of what I'm doing. Because us as black men, we don't like to go to the doctor. We don't like to be healthy. But if you move a little bit every day, 30 minutes of cardio, do some weightlifting, and change your habits, you will live life to the fullest, and you will live life more abundantly, for sure. So right now I'm on this health journey, 17 pounds down. So keep following me, cause I'm trying to be 100 pounds down.
Oh, that's awesome, dog. That's awesome. Last week, Mike just stayed on more of the task, man. Kept up with the goals. Read more last week. Last week was pretty chill compared to the other weeks, Mike. This week got a conference to go to. Got another engagement.
Where's the conference at?
Man, it's gonna be in Houston, Mike. One of the things is about a networking thing, Mike, called Cryocom. My boys put me on it. Kind of nervous, Mike. Got some official business cards coming to, family. Got to show you, wifey, to hook me up.
Hey, do you?
Boy, really stepping all the way. I'm doing a little bit by little.
I'm gonna let you know when you upgrade your business card, they got like textured business cards, bro.
Mike, she hooked me up.
Okay, cause I was about to say, bro, one time dude handed me a business card. I was like, God damn, this motherfucker sweet. And you throw a business card away quick, but if you have the texture business card or it has different font or a different shape or different style, somebody is more likely to keep that and not throw it away, for sure.
No, big facts, Mike. She done put your boy on game. Like I said, man, Again, Mike, all advancement, small growth, Mike. Got an interview next week that we doing. Remember the thing I told you about the series we got? So
Correct.
everything we talk about here comes to fruition, man. But Mike,
Yeah,
on our journey,
you gotta be about, and one thing I want to share with the people is you have to do what you say. You have to do what you say. Your word is everything. Word is bond. Word is life. So we cannot share with y'all or do the thing, say the things to do with y'all if we not doing them ourselves. You have to
big,
live by example.
big, big facts, dog. Big facts. So, Mike, today's topic: Shedeur Sanders got blackballed. Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, are they the new Will Smith and Steven Spielberg? Shannon
Mm.
Sharpe is targeted. Let's top into the first topic, Mike. Before we go into it, we got to get the research for the people that don't know. So, if you do not know who Shedeur Sanders is, he is Coach Deion Sanders' son. What happened was he was projected to go one place, but he got, as we like to call it, Mike, his Negro wake up call moment. Let's listen.
Not go in the first round. I would fairly tell you it is a surprise that he is still on the board at the start of day 3. Philosophically, some teams feel like if you are drafting at the quarterback position specifically, if you think you got a starter, you take him in round 1. If you're drafting somebody to be your backup, you don't want to do that until day 3. I spoke last night with one general manager who is considering taking Shedeur Sanders today. He pointed back all the way to March 2024 and something that Shedeur's father, Deion Sanders, said on a podcast talking about both Shedeur and Travis Hunter, saying that if they are drafted by a team that they don't want to go to, he's going to step in and pull an Eli, meaning force those players to not actually go to that team and try to get them traded. Throughout the pre-draft process, Shedeur Sanders very much proceeded as if he was dictating to clubs where he was going to go rather than how the draft works, which is the other way around. And there were a bunch of opportunities missed at the various checkpoints through that pre-draft process. Go all the way back to All-Star season. Instead of going to the Senior Bowl, he went to the East-West Shrine Bowl in his backyard in Dallas, despite an NFL memo saying if you go to these All-Star games, you have to practice. Shedeur chose not to. At the Combine, it is now well documented. Some of his formal interviews did not go well. One assistant coach told me in all his years, it was the worst formal interview he'd ever been through. People said that Shedeur was trying to dictate how he wanted things to go and made them feel small. Even at the Pro Day, the entire Big 12 have an event in Dallas. Shedeur was there, but did not work out. He had a showcase instead in Colorado, all of which is to say for a player who had a variety of questions, both about the talent level, how he would fit into an NFL system, how he would adjust from his play style in college, but also about the potential culture shock of for the first time playing for someone who is not his father. There were opportunities that Shedeur Sanders could have taken there. He seemed to feel as if he was in an elite category where he could choose the few teams he wanted to go to. Now some of those very same teams that might be considering taking Shedeur today didn't get those opportunities to answer their questions.
What teams?
Mike, incredible opening. I got one more take before I get you to take off. One more, Mike. One more. You know, I always come with the fact. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Share the live, people. Hold on. I got you, baby. Listen in, Mike.
I thought it was really strange that all the draft coverage that I saw as everybody was shocked, dismayed that Shedeur Sanders had fallen in the draft, nobody said, even mentioned that maybe dad didn't help him out. I know a lot of people know Deion Sanders and like him, but go back. It wasn't until mid-March when Deion, probably somebody got into his ear, or maybe he came to his senses, where Deion Sanders said, okay, my son can be drafted by anybody. Until that point, during key evaluation months, I went this morning and looked at clips, found 4 different shows of Deion Sanders with arrogance, hubris, confidence, saying, hey, it's going to be on our terms. There are teams he will not be playing for. Now, time out. Shedeur is a prospect. He's going to be an employee of a business. And your dad is saying, there are teams we will not play for. And that's directed at many of the teams that were interested. It wasn't directed at the best teams in the league. And nobody wants to just note that, acknowledge that, mention that. You know, I've said on my show before, quarterback dad has become pageant mom, where the heart is in the right place, but sometimes they do a disservice to their kids.
Mike, take off, baby. What are your thoughts hearing these from the undifferent perspective?
First and foremost, Deion Sanders took the Archie Manning playbook and ran with it. How is Shedeur, Deion, and Shiloh, and Travis, and anybody that is under Deion's tutelage, how can Archie Manning do it? And he done it first. Oh, he's strategic. Oh, he's daring. He's bold. He's protecting his assets that he is presenting to the NFL. Deion Sanders took every part of that playbook, but Deion Sanders is a strong black father. He's confident. He was one of the best in the league at his position.
Mike went out for a little bit, but as Mike was saying, everything he said was valid about Coach Prime. Coach Prime has a presence
Can
to
you
him.
hear me?
I can hear you now, family. Go ahead.
Hold on, T. My bad. Can you hear
So
me?
as
Can you
I
hear
can hear you, you good.
Okay.
You
I
good.
don't know what
Keep
happened.
cooking. Keep
All right.
cooking.
But Archie Manning is the first person to ever do this. So for Dion to take the same approach, right? Dion to take the same approach. I don't why is it like, oh, it's cool when they do it. You know, that's been our topic the whole time. It's cool when they do it, but when we do it, oh, we're arrogant. Oh, we don't have we shouldn't be doing that. First of all, let's look at stats. I've actually researched this because I wanted to really talk about this, right? Shedeur threw over 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns in his 2024 season. What other quarterback was doing that?
Mm,
Why is it that first of all, you got to understand something. Shedeur is rich. Shedeur
mm,
been rich. Shedeur been rich his whole life. Been rich his whole life. With his NIL money, he amassed approximately $10 million. So one thing for sure, two things for certain, we got to look at this at all aspects. Shador is not motivated by money. He has had
mm,
money his whole life. So the NFL usually, is disenfranchised players, players that come from a single parent home, players that are from the hood, made it out of the hood, made it to a great college, and now they're being drafted. This is not that story. So presenting him with money and wanting him to do what it is that you want him to do is not going to work. It's not going to work because he's not motivated by money. He's had money his whole life. So how can you come at him the way that you're coming at these other, oh, he made it to the league, oh, unsung hero of the hood. No, he's not that. Secondly, like I said, 4,000 yards, over 4,000. I think it was 4,300 and some odd change, right? 37 touchdowns. His 2020, that's just 2024. That's not the second year that he played at Colorado. That's just 2024. So how can you not have first of all, no one has come into that to the draft like that. And yes, you can come into the draft and say, I'm not going to play for these people. If you know your worth, yes, it's an opportunity. But at the same time, if you know your worth and you know who you are, and my dad was one of the greatest players of all time in the league, it is going to be a ushering in of where I need to go and what is going to work out for me, not the other way around. Because you can't offer me anything but playing in the NFL. You can't. So for them to blackball him like that, when the whole world knew he should have went top 10, they were drafting quarterbacks that didn't even have couldn't even be spoken into the same category. So it goes to show, okay, if I want to conduct myself in an interview and let you know that I'm not playing the game that y'all are playing, that's the problem. When you push back, these people have a problem. They want you to be. You got to remember what the NFL is. The NFL is modern day slavery for most people. It's modern day slavery. Yes, sir, master. I'm gonna do what you say, master. I'm gonna run and catch the ball, master. I'm gonna do. Shador is not that type of person. Neither is his brother. And his dad is already aware of the system and the building of the NFL. So why not say, hey, no, son, I want you to do this. Hey, no, son, that team is not good for you. I played for that team, or I know the ins and outs of that team. It's nepotism at its greatest, and that's what we need to be doing for our young black boys. So for the NFL to try to humble somebody that doesn't need humbling. They're used to quarterbacks being, he's a leader for one thing. He's led his team to the bowls and everything. So he's a natural born leader. But for you to say that he needs humbling because he has a proud father, a proud black father who dominated your league and are going to do things their way and took the handbook from Archie Manning when he had both of his sons in the NFL, it's crazy for you to allow Archie Manning to do that and not let Deion Sanders do that at all. Point blank, period. It's ridiculous that you did not draft him and you were trying to prove a point. Okay, but you fucked yourself. Because whether he was not in the NFL, he still would have been 100% fine.
And Mike, let me go ahead and take off on a Mike beautiful, beautiful opening. For me, y'all, I want everybody to learn something. You know how we say America is a meritocracy? It's not. Remember, you can be talented, the best, but if you don't fit what we're looking for,
100%.
you won't get the same accreditation. Not attitude, not mentality. If you don't fit who is in power and who is in leadership at that time, you will not get the same respect. We get taught early on, Mike, if you work hard and do right, you will get the rewards from it. It doesn't happen.
No, it does not.
That's one of the biggest myths that we got to uncode in America. When you get inside the adult world, no matter your accolades, no matter where you went to school, no matter any of that things, are you like, Mike? Do they want you? Are you what they seem? Do you fit into our program? All of that stuff is so undertaught. I want people to catch that lesson. Mike is giving a background story. What I'm telling you is in reality, we get taught, go to school, do this, you'll be all right. It won't happen that way. And Shedeur is a model of that. He is a model of, hey, even though I'm talented, I may be indifferent. I may have my own personality, my own swagger, my own energy. You do not fit what we want. And even though you are more qualified, overqualified, Mike, we will take something lesser just to prove a point.
100%. And to go 5th round, 144th pick is absolutely absurd.
Well, Mike, I want everybody to know something. That was intentional. That was something said from the top down. We are going to humble you and show you that you do what we say. 100%. It was a modern day. People say the word lynch, and I believe that's too harsh. It was a Negro wake-up call. Shedeur has never experienced that, though, Mike.
No.
He has not experienced something in life, and what he has experienced right there that will stick with him psychologically is that, 100%. Son, you are not bigger than the program.
Bend you are now. We're going to make you bow and bend that knee. Point blank, period.
In fact, shout out Mom Duke. She watching live. Shout out Queen Crowder.
What's up, Ma? Welcome aboard.
And the one thing you got to remember, man, as we get into these lessons and we talk about things, we don't go into that enough. We just hear, oh, you going to be qualified. You going to get this. That's not how the world works.
No, qualification is half the
Come
battle.
On, Mike, who's in power? Mike, you know the one thing I love to remind people, boo? It was illegal to read at one point in time for black people.
Correct.
Think about that, Mike. That was a law on the book that it was illegal for you to read.
And we
who
had
make the laws?
And we had to teach you on the low.
Mike, who make the laws that what's illegal?
Right.
Is illegal what I think is illegal? Or is what I think right now what really goes to? Because if we're going by the standards of the law, Mike, which we'll dive into our most topic, who has to follow the laws? The people that are not in power.
100%.
Because if you're in power, you get to dictate when and how you want to follow the laws. And as you were saying phenomenally, Mike, they don't like Coach Prime. Let's keep it real, Mike.
Correct.
None of them like Coach Prime.
He's gonna do it his way. He did the NFL his way, and he's gonna. And I will say this: yes, they tried to humble the Sanders family, because you should have definitely drafted Shiloh as well. Thank you to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for undrafted free agency signing the contract. However, you stoop so low to prove a point, and I pray to God that they play like they've been playing and they shit on the NFL.
Well, the one thing I want everybody to know, Mike, once you are a disruptor, remember, a disruptor means I'm going against social norms. Coach Prime is going against social norms, Mike. So he's going to get more pushback than others. Remember, he is going against how coaching is supposed to be. He is going against how life is supposed to be. Mike, when have you ever heard in a workplace, real place scenario where they talk about love. I'm looking for you. I appreciate you. You don't hear that. So you got to understand, Mike. Now, what he's doing is changing the landscape of everything.
100%.
So, of course, he ain't going to like him, Mike. You're making my job harder because I have to assimilate to what you're doing now.
100%.
Not what I'm doing. Remember, Mike, now I have to adjust that Coach Prime has made sure that when you talk to athletes, that they feel appreciated.
100%.
You can't coach the old way and do the old way. It's not working anymore. Because you can't, and Mike, you also can't say that method doesn't work because he's getting results. So if 100%. I make you adjust, if I make you pivot, if I make you do things you're not accustomed to, Mike, you know what you're going to get? Resentment.
Correct. And I will say this about the way Coach Prime coaches, right? This is what they build the table and bring the table and invite you to their table, not them sitting at other people's table. You come and eat at my table. And
Big
that's
fact.
what the NFL does not like.
Well, you got to understand, you go against the social norm, Mike, like you said. You're making your own table. And Mike, let's say something else too, Mike. Once you are like you emphasized it, but I think you kind of pivoted from it. Once you come from money, the level of influence of putting that dollar in front of me doesn't work.
Nothing. It does nothing, bro. Because my thing is this, right? Okay, you could offer him a multi-million dollar contract, but he's already a multi-millionaire. He's been a multi-millionaire since he was a child. So what is money? Nothing.
So now, Mike, you know what you got to do.
Uncontrollable. You can't control him the way
and
you can.
You got to coach differently. Yeah, right. You hit that on that. 100%. Now I have to coach differently. Now I got to speak differently. Now I got to be a different man. You ain't saying, Mike, to make my remember. Nobody wants their job to be harder, including them coaches. So now Shedeur is making my job harder. That's the underlying rule. Ain't nobody talking about. It's really, oh, you making it harder on me, bro.
Right.
Oh, you gonna say something to me I ain't gonna like, bro.
And that's what he did. He owned them interviews. I'm not gonna do the interview that you want me to do. I don't need your money. I'm already nice. It's nothing you can tell me. I'm nice. I threw 4,000 yards. I did 37 touchdowns. I won the quarterback of the year award. What can you tell me? How can you coach me in a way that is going to be different than what I understand? You can't. I'm already built for greatness.
And Mike, to close your thoughts on that, man, let me hear what your lasting thought about the Shedeur situation is before we go to our next topic.
Well, I'll say this. Tom Brady wasn't drafted first round draft pick. Lamar Jackson wasn't drafted first round draft pick. And some other greats were not drafted first round draft picks. And they had that chip on their shoulder. They had the dog in them. And they were able to look at Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP. Look at Tom Brady. 7-time Super Bowl champion?
7 times. Yep, 7.
7-time Super Bowl champion, was not drafted first, was not drafted first round at all, but was the GOAT. So I say to Shedeur, you take them Cleveland Browns to the chip and you do what you're supposed to do. Period.
Phenomenal close, Mike. For me, I would tell Shedeur this. Nobody cares about what happened to you. They care about what you do now.
100%.
In the man world, you are judged by your results. They did you dirty. Let's accept it. Now, when you get in there, you can't give no excuses. You got to be head down, locked in. And when you start winning those games, Mike, they'll come see you.
One thing I want to say, too, is they made such a big deal about the Shedeur thing that I feel it took away from everybody else. Everybody else, it's a celebratory moment for everybody that was able to accomplish their dreams from being a young child playing Pop Warner football to being an adult, being in the NFL. And I felt like we harped on it. Yes, it was an injustice. However, it was a celebratory thing for everybody that was in all 6, 7 rounds. And I think that took I think it was headline news, but at the same time, everybody that got drafted is headline news.
Love it, Mike. Let's go on to our next subject. Mike mentioned something very important, y'all, about following the law. And remember when I said, who has to follow the law? Those in power or those not in power? Let's listen.
Excuse me, you cannot impede me from my lawful duties. That's a crime. Do you understand? Do not touch me or impede me in my lawful duties, ma'am. Do you understand? It is a crime for you to do so.
Why? Do you have a warrant
Senor,
for his arrest? Do you have a warrant for his arrest?
Yes.
Where?
Hey,
Warrant.
grab him.
Warrant for his arrest. Warrant signed by a
Get
judge.
off me or I am calling the U.S. attorney and prosecuting you for assault on a federal officer.
Show us the warrant
Back
for his
up.
arrest. Show us a warrant signed by a judge.
Turn him
You
around.
don't have a warrant.
Sir.
Show us a warrant for his arrest.
We are officers with Homeland Security.
You don't have a warrant signed by a judge.
All right, Senor Dominguez. No se preocupe.
You don't have to.
No necesitas decirle nada, no necesitas decirle nada sin abogado. No firme nada sin abogado.
Ready? Let's go out, please.
Mike, it gets better. I want you to understand the back row story. I want you to see the first part first. You ready?
They were sitting in the courtroom with the state prosecutor. The judge learns that ICE was outside to get the guy because he had been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes, victims in court. Judge finds out. She goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers. She's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom. You're not going to believe this. Takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers, takes them out a private exit and tells them to leave. While a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
Wow.
You know,
Can't
Madam
make this
Attorney
up.
General, great to have you here, and thanks for
Mike.
coming back on America Report.
Did you hear that? An active judge, Mike, was sitting on a court stand and there was an illegal situation with ICE. We know the situation going on. She knew about the situation. The ICE agents came, took the gentleman out of handcuffs with his lawyer and exited him out the back room. Wait a minute, Mike. A sitting judge?
Wilding for respect.
Mike, I want to ask them a question, and I wanted to talk about this. This is not about that. We have active cases in Tulsa, Oklahoma going on right now for reparations claim. And we can't get no motion from any in our legal class. But we got judges on the stand, Mike, taking guys out the back room like we in a movie. Mike,
Free the
they
guys.
ran for the exit, Mike.
Free the guys.
Mike, wait a minute. An active judge did that?
She should be prosecuted.
Mike, why is this not a nationwide story?
Because we was worried in the smoke and mirrors, we were worried about Shedeur, who is rich and will be okay.
First thing that came to my mind was this, Mike. And this is another shout out to our legal class. We have active judge on the stands, white folks stepping up for illegals.
But won't step
Throwing them
up
out
for
the back room, Mike. Mike, can a black judge do that for Carmelo
No.
Anthony?
No.
What, Mike, what's the difference?
We lucky a black judge was able to get his bond lowered to $250,000.
I couldn't even believe it in real time, Mike. And guess what? She just got arrested 2 days ago.
She needs to be
just
arrested.
got arrested, Mike?
She should have been arrested immediately.
Mike, how is that not obstruction of justice?
It's obstruction of justice of a federal law enforcement agency. Just because you're a sitting judge, you cannot do that.
And I'm going to say this again, Mike. We have an active reparations claim in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where active victims are still living. You hear that, Mike?
100%.
Little girls saw the Tulsa massacre and are still living, and their case has not gone through the courts.
We ain't got no
We
judge
have-
open. We ain't got no judge even willing to sit and
Mike,
hear the proceedings.
What? Why we ain't crashing out? You mean to tell me you got active victims from a domestic hate crime that happened in America, and we have legal counsel not saying a damn
Call it
thing?
what it was. We have active people that were victims of domestic terrorism.
Facts.
That's what it was. No, it wasn't a hate crime. It was domestic. It was a hate crime, but it was deeper than that. It was domestic terrorism. They dropped bombs on the people.
Facts, though. I just, when I see something like Mike can hear it, it's kind of shocking to me in almost a way. It's like, this ain't even national news. You mean to tell me this happened this week? And ain't
Right.
nobody talking about it. What?
Right. Shorty was
She
tripping.
ran off, Mike. Told the federal, and Mike, put their hands on a federal officer. He ain't pull a blick. He ain't pull a strap.
That's because she a judge, bro. They got a little more respect.
Wait a minute, Mike. You mean to tell me they got more respect for somebody that's impeding justice?
They got more respect for somebody that's illegally in this country than people that they stole and brought here.
That's real, dog. That's the next thing that comes to mind.
But Terrell, you got to think about it. Legally, we are 3/5 of a person.
Facts.
Still.
Facts.
So it doesn't shock me that no one has stood up for us.
No, it was just when I saw that story.
My thing is this, right? We need to stop looking for the white people to stand up for us. But like you said, where the black lawyers at? Where the black judges at?
And Mike, this ain't about no white lawyer.
Where the minority judges at that would refuse to stand up for these situations? Even and what it is people are so scared to go against the grain, be chastised. Bro, if I was in a position of power, fuck it. That's what I was put in that position for.
And Mike, I'm not even blaming the white judges in there, Mike. I'm talking about for us. Seeing this thing happen to me, Mike, is like, hold on. What the hell we doing?
Shorty tripping dumb, stupid hard.
Mike, hold on. What we doing, Mike? And the next thing that come to my mind, Mike, and I thought about it as I marinated on it, is we don't like to talk about one thing in this country, Mike. Judges and Georges and corruption. Is she a corrupt judge?
100%. She stood in the way of
Did the cartel got in her pocket, Mike?
I don't know.
Mike, what judge would do something like that actively on the bench?
Yeah, she was on the bench while she won't even like walking by and nothing. She was actively trying a case.
As we talk about corruption, Mike, we never speak about corruption in America. You notice that? We always talk about it abroad. But we don't talk about like, hey, bro, you know the number one thing that's corruption, Mike, nobody talks about? My historical bag. JFK was actually murdered by the mob.
JFK was murdered by a Secret Service agent in his car, turned around and shot him in the face, and it's on video.
Mike, you mean to tell me that happened and we never discussed about that?
They murdered a sitting president in our face.
Mike, you have enough power to do that.
And nothing happens to you.
And nothing happens to you.
We
got a lot of things we don't want to talk about, Mike. So like I said, when we get into those deep subjects, I'm like, man, corruption is a lot more rampant than even we like to discuss. And it's more scary because it is hit home and it's like, hold on. This scenario right now, we got an active judge going on, crashing out, saying, no, I don't want them to, no, I don't want that. That ain't going to happen. I ain't going to sign nothing. You mean to tell me, hold on. And let's, Mike, I got to give her credit, Mike. She's standing on business.
She's still on business 100%.
Mike, Linda Schmoller, she's standing on business. She said, no, we ain't doing all that. Just the judge right here. No, I ain't letting you arrest the people that got arrested. No, I ain't signing that warrant. No, I disagree with that. Again, Mike.
Bro, first of all, she write like a third grader.
You stupid. But our legal community, Mike, where we at?
Why? My thing is this, right? If you took an oath, which lawyers, judges, police, civil servants, doctors do, right? You take an oath. When do you decide who the oath is for and who the oath is not for, right? My thing is this. If I was a judge and I took that oath, I'm standing up for everything. Black, white, Puerto Rican, anything, right? Because that's my job. That's what I took that oath for. But people are afraid to go against the grain because they're afraid of the consequences of them not being able to live that lifestyle that they have amassed.
Man,
but you have to be willing and able to go against the grain regardless of what the consequences are.
Mike, close your thoughts on that subject. Seeing that video, hearing this story, what's your lasting thoughts on that?
My lasting thoughts of we need more people like her, but we need more people to fight for every civil injustice, not just pick and choose what civil injustices. That's what legal system is about. That's what judges and attorneys are about. But we are so busy lining our pockets and picking and choosing the civil liberties and civil injustices that we want to fight for. We can't fight for one and not fight for the other. You fighting for this Spanish motherfucker to stay in the country, but you're not fighting for why Carmelo Anthony had $1 million bond and why is his family getting berated and why did they have to move when you look at the evidence that the white boy died due to a drug overdose. Secondary death offense was the stabbing. Why are we not running in the streets, parading the streets, and fighting for this young man due to the simple fact that he defended himself? Hey, George Zimmerman defended himself, quote unquote. Derek Chauvin, the police officer, defended himself, quote unquote. The guy that choked out our brother in New York on the subway felt scared and defended not himself, but the people around him and got off. So why isn't nobody fighting for us? It's because we're 3/5 of a person and we don't matter. We never have and we never will.
And Mike, that was a
And until
beautiful
we,
thought.
hey, look,
My
and
last.
until we understand a system that is not set up for us, will not fight for us, we will never be. We need to fight for ourselves. We need to have
Agreed. You know my saying, Mike. I always tell people we don't have a justice system. We have a court system. We got to remember, nothing about our legal class is about justice. Because if it was, there would be no reason that Emmett Till's killer would be allowed to be free. Remember,
100%. And let me put you on game too. We don't operate on regular law. I advise everybody to get the Black Law Dictionary. You need that in your life. We operate as a country on maritime law. When you walk in that courtroom and see that flag with the gold fringes, that is not the American flag. The American flag does not have gold fringes. You know I stand on my common law all the time, Terrell. The American flag does not have gold fringes. When you go in that courtroom, your straw man is the one that's being persecuted, not you. Your name is in all capital letters. Who the fuck is that? That is not grammatically correct. Your name should be one capital letter, lowercase letters, one capital letter, lowercase letters. First, last, middle initial should be capitalized. But your name is in all capital letters.
and as Mike was saying before he faded out, man, we don't have a justice system in this country, y'all. We have a legal system. And you operate from that frame of mind. You good, dog?
Can you hear me?
Acting up. Yeah, I can hear you. But you operate
Hold
from
on.
that frame of mind, you tend to move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So as we keep going on, next up, man, the movie Sinners is taking over America. If you are not hip, the new best director on the scene is Ryan Coogler out of Oakland. The brother is phenomenal. Phenomenal artist, director, leader, hard-nosed, hard-hitting brother. So what I want you to see right now is his interview with the Breakfast Club and how this thing came about and how he learned about Mississippi Delta and its history. Tap in. That is such a deep message. And Mike, for me, the one thing I want everybody that lives in big cities to understand, Mike, down south in America, I believe that all Black Americans have to make a pilgrimage to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. I truly believe you got to go there, Mike, and you got to that cotton field thing, Mike, that plantation field is real.
That's 100% real.
Like, you will feel like something go up your spine, bro. Like, you'll feel that energy. As much as we are ancestry from Africa, we got to understand our roots have been here for 400, 500 years, man. We ignore so much of that history. Like, bro, do y'all not understand that they was hanging Black folks from trees in Mississippi?
Bro, they was hanging Black folks in Virginia.
In Virginia, Mike. And we are so afraid. We are so captive. It's kind of funny, Mike. People are so infatuated with cities that we are afraid to go back and look at that. I've run into that so much in Houston, Mike. Since I've been down here 4 years now, Mike, I have conversations with people all the time. Like, man, y'all ain't never been to the Whitney plantation in Louisiana, Mike? They look at me like I'm crazy. You ain't been to Soul
It's not even that far. It's not even that far a drive,
Mike. But what I've learned, Mike, is that a lot of people don't like to look back at the history. It's a sense of shame. Instead of a sense, to me, it's a sense of empowerment. Like, damn, they went through this and they survived. A lot of people might don't like to talk about it. They don't like to feel it. They don't like to talk about it. They don't like to be around the cotton fields. I enjoy immersing myself in it because I know our history, the good and the bad. But when you only hear the slavery context and you don't learn the triumph, the Black Wall Streets. If you don't know everything in context and you only hear one, you are afraid. And Mike, he's from Oakland. So him never being from the West Coast, Mike.
He
He
every
from the
bit
town.
he every bit of Oakland, bro. You could hear it the way he's talking and everything.
But again, Mike, he come from the West Coast, ain't never been down south, Mike. He even said it. A brother directed us. Man, it emotionally got to him, Mike. Like, dang, I've been to West Coast and I ain't know my family was from here. Because all of us come from it, Mike. So when we go back and you feel that feeling, it's so hard to explain to people. But I try to say, like, y'all got to understand, our roots are there. Africa is important, Mike. But we here now.
But I hate to say this, bro. This is probably like the unpopular opinion. We gotta stop putting so much emphasis in Africa. The African slave trade, yes, it happened, but the numbers that they gave us was skewed.
For
A
sure.
lot of us, 75 to 80% of us was already here. We
Big
were
facts.
indigenous people. So for people to cleave to the African narrative, I'm cool with that, but you gotta kind of miss me with that shit. Because, and I say this, and I'm about to take us on a different journey, and I don't mean to, right? But I
Talk your
say this
point.
to say, when you do Ancestry.com, everybody that I know that has done that has said the same thing. They should say sub-Saharan African, it says Congo African, and it says something else, right? Those three parts.
So they telling you a dream, Mike, is what you're saying.
It's a hoop dream because you don't know where my fucking family came from. If you quote unquote said they got here on the slave ship, that history was not recorded. Stop with the bullshit. 75 to 80% of the indigenous people here were black.
Facts.
Not coming from the African slave trade.
Facts.
The numbers are skewed. Yes, they say 4 million Africans came here. What about the people that was already here, already lived here, and was already established? We need to understand there were two slave trades, the African slave trade and the Indian slave trade. Understand that. Understand who you are. I know for a fact I didn't personally do my ancestry. However, a person in my family did my ancestry, and 95% of my family was indigenous to this land.
Agreed,
So
Mike.
when y'all get these, and y'all don't find it weird that everybody y'all know is sub-Saharan African, Congo African, and Senegalese. Like, no, motherfucker, they don't know where you fucking came from. That's just the best. And it kills me, right? It kills me every time I meet somebody that just do it and be like, oh wow, they say my family's from the Congo. Of course they did. And his family, my family, your family, and that family, all from the Congo, all sub-Saharan African. Come on, we all can't be that.
You know the funny part is, Mike? Nobody on my family side is. I've gotten so deep, Mike. I've gotten back to 1750s and how I've done it. People don't know.
And where they not here?
A whole bunch of America. But my family comes from the Kentucky, Tennessee area. They were on the Polk plantation of James K. Polk, and they got their freedom that way, Mike. So like you said, everything that we learn is BS. Number one, the 100%. First part of being awakened is learning Black history, Mike. Is real, is unlearning everything that you was taught. To learn the real history of this country, you have to unlearn everything we've been taught. Because none of us telling the truth. And that's the fact about it.
Understand, you gotta break down the words, right?
Yeah.
His story.
From his perspective.
It's the motherfucker that told us what was what. And we gotta stop listening to what was what and understand what was real. A lot of people don't understand that the Grand Canyon, the reason why we can't go and visit some parts of the Grand Canyon is because they have Egyptian temples and artifacts in the Grand Canyon, nigga. But Egypt is
even that, Mike, people forget it's pyramids all across America.
It's more pyramids in America than it is in Africa and the Middle East.
No, they don't talk about it enough. It's so much, but as we dive into it, Mike, the main thing I wanted to, before we keep going, did you see Sinners is Met? Have you saw the movie yet?
I have not seen it yet. I was waiting for a day off, so I will.
All good. Well, I won't give it too much, but I'll give you my take.
You can give me what you got, because it's not gonna stop me from seeing it.
For sure. Well, number one, Mike, it's a must see for all Black folks in America. The number one topic it targets, Mike, Everybody trying to invite somebody to a cookout, you the problem. When you invite people over and you don't know their background, their stories, their mindset, their initiative, where they come from, but you invite them because you want to appear socially cool, you need to be discarded. So if I meet a black person that says another person that Jay invited to the cookout, you're not invited to my house. That's number one part of that movie nobody discussed. So when you hear people try to give invitations, y'all, to people that you don't know, you need to watch them. Number two, Mike, you don't know what everybody else has going on. Stop trying to be embracive to other cultures. Our cultures is just as valuable. In the movie, Mike, there was a scene before everything ticked off where these brothers were trying to finance themselves. What they didn't realize is that you were buying from a clan member. So even though they'll spend money with you, they'll never respect you. So the whole Mike, I'm going to have money, I'm going to be good. We see millionaires get disrespected and treated badly, i.e. Shedeur and Deion Sanders. Money ain't going to save us, Mike. You being financially wealthy ain't going to save you from the racism and the real things that happen in this country.
But what we got to realize too, T, is they allow a certain amount of us to have money because money is the goal. Money has never been the goal. Having money is just you a nigga with money. You still a nigga. You just show hope that we can make it. We can assimilate to this American dream. You will never assimilate to the American dream because they don't look at you as American. They look at you as nigga. And once you realize that, yes, you can use the tools. Money is nothing. Money is nothing but printed paper. They print that shit every fucking day. It is a tool. Once you realize they print that shit every fucking day, you understand the value that it actually has.
Number three, Mike, bars by you. Number three, Mike, the reason why we have so many foreign businesses in our community, we don't think about that they were allowed to have them.
They were giving the business loans. They were giving business loans, and we were not.
Business loans and were not attacked. We can't forget that, Mike. Were not attacked. The reason why we have a black business shortage in Black America is because of the Dwight E. Eisenhower Highway Act. Look it up. All the highways we have in this country were bought through black business districts. But what it talks about specifically in this movie, Mike, it was about the Mississippi Delta. Asians, Chinese specifically, that were allowed to have business in the Mississippi Delta were because they kept burning down black businesses. But what the Chinese overemphasized themselves is that you thought we were different. No, you were just a footmark to handle and service a business. But once they wanted their own, they burned down yours. Because in the movie, Mike, you felt that idolatry as in we are different. Sort of like what Asian Americans experience right now. Mike, remember what the affirmative action going away and the college numbers going down? It's the same thing, rinse, wash, and repeat. Ryan Coogler brings that up and makes it a real life issue because a lot of the times we view symbolism as something. We are aware of the symbolism, Mike, but we're not affected by it. But other ethnicities are extremely influenced by it. They think, oh, I'm different. You shop for me, I'm different. No, you are convenient. You follow orders. You don't push back. You assimilate, Mike. And number 5, the final point, Mike, got the movie that I think most people did not forget. Let your talents and skill weigh you. Your community is enough. Your community is enough, Mike. It was such a deep, introspective movie.
One more time for the people in back, T.
Well, remember the 4 points, y'all. You are allowed to have a business, Asian Americans. Number 1. Number 2, the people that invite people in your life, assess them. Stop. If I meet anybody, Mike, that says you invited to the cookout, motherfucker, you ain't invited to my cookout. Straight up, Mike. If you are any black person around me and you doing any inviting and you ain't been vetted or checked properly and you inviting anybody around your circle, you gonna get the fuck from around me. Straight up. That's what I got from that movie, Mike. Number 3, you got to understand the black business district, how they've been systematically oppressed. And number 4, you have enough around you. Mike, you know what's funny? I've had the Black Man's Organization for a while now, right, Mike?
Right.
You know how much pessimism I get from other people around Houston?
And it's black people. Tell me
always, Mike. You know what I've learned the most, Mike? They will say so many pessimistic things, I don't even respond no more. I just show and prove. What I've learned is that the power of the tongue, Mike, we say so many, oh, it ain't going to work. Oh, it ain't going to show up, Mike. And we do it every time. And you know why that's such a big deal, Mike? Your mind is your biggest hurdle. You telling me that black men don't support, I get active support. I ain't from Houston. I don't know a whole lot of people. I know more than I did know. But everybody that we've built with, I see it. Just because you don't get it, don't put it on all of us. Just because you don't get the respect, don't put it on me.
Right.
Just because you don't get the love, don't put it on me. You know what I've learned too, Mike? You get love when you give it.
100%.
Mike, I ain't looking for the game. Mike, you know me, I ain't looking for the game from nobody. I help brothers all the time. But it's the ones that do it from an angle of I'm trying to get something. That's who had a problem.
Bro, first of all, we gotta stop doing shit for accreditation. And I'm talking about everybody, bro. I just seen the video and it angered me, right? Because if you want to do something for real for somebody, don't publicize it. Do it from the kindness of your heart. And this goes, and this may be slightly off topic, but it is
No,
on
you good?
topic. Stop doing stuff for the homeless and putting it on camera.
I'm with you.
100% stop that. I don't care if you famous.
No,
I
I'm
don't
with you.
care who you are. Stop doing things for people
That's
that
real.
is disenfranchised. These people are having the worst time of their life, and you putting them on camera, giving them a McDonald's cheeseburger. Did you really give them the McDonald's cheeseburger from the kindness of your heart, or did you do it for the accolades that come with it? If you're gonna do something from somebody, the quietest movements are the largest movements in my eyes, because you're doing it from the heart and you ain't looking for no kudos. Stop doing shit for people to say good job. Who gives a fuck if somebody say good job? Who gives a fuck if somebody say I see what you're doing? Do things in the quietness and God will provide the reward. Stop doing it for man's reward and man's kudos and do it for the light of God. That irks my nerves. I don't think a lot of people know, but I was homeless at one point, and the last thing I would want in my lowest point of my life was somebody to give me anything and put the motherfucking camera in my face.
Dang, that's powerful. But my last topic for my dog, Mike. My dog can't stay too long tonight.
Hey man,
Mike,
we
you
got
ready
a
for
little,
you?
we got a little time with that Wiz Khalifa. That's what we talking about.
You want to hit that? We can hit it, Mike. Let me go ahead and
Hey,
pull it. You keep going. I'm gonna pull up the imagery of it.
hey. So the Wiz Khalifa, yo, I am a huge Kush and Orange Juice fan, and I would like to say I have listened to the album 3 times today. That's the only time I had. I'm a huge fan of everything that he did. He stuck. Now, it's some critiques that I have. I would have liked to see a little bit of growth. It's still the same Wiz Khalifa to me that created Kush and Orange Juice #1, right? However, the artistry, the way the beats were produced, the rap style, everything was so nostalgic for me. I listened to all 20 plus songs multiple times. And the thing that gave me love and the thing that gave me an Achilles heel about it was that from 1 to 2, there was, to me, it was just so similar. But you gotta understand, Wiz Khalifa makes stoner music. If you are not a stoner or wasn't a past stoner, it is a little bit hard for you to appreciate, because it is straight up weed smoking, chilling in the car, riding down the street with the blunt in your mouth, enjoying life music. However, the production was amazing, and Wiz is gonna be Wiz, right? He's gonna be who he is. He is still who he is from when he made the first Kush and Orange Juice, which is a classic, cult classic. However, I would just like to see the diversity in the artistry. I would like to see you grow and stop talking about smoking weed. I would like to see you philanthropic. I would like to see you do anything other than smoking weed and having a weed
1
brand.
through 10, Mike. Put a number on it now. 1 through
Uh,
10. What you giving it, Mike?
just because I'm a Wiz Khalifa fan and Kush and Orange Juice is the first one was one of my all-time favorites, I say 6.5.
6.5 is strong. 6.5. Why? Do you think Wiz has grown, elevated, or he's remained stagnant as an artist?
I think he has just been himself.
Okay.
It's hard to say he's stagnant, but I think he is true to what his audience is and who he is as an artist, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense, Mike. That's so you've broken down his artistry, you broken down what you think he's gotten, you broken down. Do you think he is still a top tier artist, or he's been on decline for a while?
I'm such a Wiz fan. I don't want to say he's on a decline, but I would like to see more. Because we can't continuously talk about Pusha T's are great, right? But we know Pusha T talks about selling bricks all the time. I would like to see you talk about more than selling weed and making smoking music. I know that's your lane. I don't think he's on a decline, but I don't think I would say like only your core fan group is looking for this album. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I do believe that he said some things that are questionable, and I'll get your last video before I let my dog Mike slide.
Hey,
Mike,
we can keep going, bro. I know we got a couple more. We good.
Oh, you good. I'm gonna let. Hey, you told me what it is. I'm gonna hold my dog to it tonight. I ain't gonna let you do that. I'm gonna let my dog get it. I got you, baby. Remember, I gotta preserve you, man. Mike, your honest reaction. Take a look. Mike, cap or is Will telling the truth?
2 M's for a show. 100% cap. Who paying that? who bro, I'm gonna be and this is for somebody who has been backstage at the Nova and has smoked with Cameron multiple times. And I'm gonna call you by your first name. Cameron. Who the fuck is paying $2 million to see Wiz Khalifa? Now, I will say international markets are usually pay more, and the artists can be a little bit more successful. I'm not really knowledgeable about his international footprint. However, I say 250 a verse is 250,000 for a verse is it's a little steep. It's a
For
little steep
Wiz
for
Khalifa 2025, man.
2025, a little steep, little steep. But I will say this: that is the norm. Once you get to an artist of his caliber and where he has been in celebrityism, 250 is like standard rate. But me personally, would I pay a 250 for a Wiz Khalifa verse? No. I probably would if I had a team behind me. I had an industry behind me. I'll probably pay the 150. 250, it's a little steep. Not and I'm gonna be real with you. Is in the song may not go nowhere.
That's what I was first thing I was thinking, Mike. Where's his buzz at?
But 2 million, nigga. Who is paying 2 M's for any artist? That's not even just Wiz Khalifa.
Maybe Dot.
2 M's for a show. That's a lot of money, bro.
Beyonce, Taylor Swift.
Now Beyonce getting 2 million. Taylor Swift
Taylor
getting
Swift.
2. Taylor
I'll say Dot right now. He doing stadiums.
Kate Dot getting 2 million. Chris Brown 2 million. But
Breezy getting 2 million.
I am not paying 2 million to Wiz Khalifa.
I'm
Not
with
ever. Not even
No
when he was
disrespect to him, but yeah, nah.
bro. Not
He ain't
even
had a
when
hit record in but at least 10 years, has it?
right. Not even when Wiz Khalifa came out with Cushion Orange Juice 1. I'm not paying 2 million.
You right though. He ain't been popping at least 10 years. At least.
But he's been a dad, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in this day and age, like I told you, 250 is steep, but it's artistry standard, right? Like for an artist that has been of his caliber, when he was hot, yes, I would pay 250. But
Who's paying
250,
though, Mike?
but 250 now. I will say this: them rich ass motherfuckers that want you come to their kid's birthday party and perform like
Yeah.
they
But are they
probably paying.
even pulling for Wiz though? Like they ain't pulling for
No.
Wiz now. They not Wiz not as hot as Lil Baby or
No,
Young Boy.
Wiz
And
has a
them.
very, very niche market that he solicits to, and it's the smoker.
Yeah.
And everybody smokes weed, but I'm not paying. Bro, I'm gonna be real with you. 250,000 is a lot of money, and I'm not paying that for a verse. A verse is only 8 to 16 bars. That's what you
I don't
gotta
think he's getting
understand.
it like that. I don't think he's getting it like that. For
But I
sure.
also I also think Wiz has been a great dad. He's been raising his 2 kids, and
For
he's been
sure.
chilling. He's been chilling, and I think the only reason that you came out with Cushion Orange Juice #2 is because industry pushed you to do it. It's been how long since Cushion Orange Juice 1 came out? You had to. You had to.
I think he waited too long.
100%.
I think he waited too long for the buzz to come. He
I
should have done
think
it about 5 years
he
ago.
exactly. He should have, like you said, 3 to 5 years of Cushion Orange Juice 1. Waited way too long.
Way too long.
He should have did, and I'm gonna tell you when he should have did it. He should have did Cushion Orange Juice 2 when he and Snoop Dogg did that movie, Mac and whatever. That's when he should have did Cushion Orange Juice 2.
Man, Mike on the
And
fire.
Cushion
Mike,
Orange Juice and Cushion Orange Juice 2 should have been the soundtrack for the movie.
man, Mike, that's fire. Mike, thank you for chopping it up with my dog. My dog Mike had a long week. We keeping him on target, y'all. We keeping them fresh. Mike, if you don't know, Mike on TikTok going in, arguing with women now. Mike
Dog,
doing
dog,
everything.
I don't mean to be on TikTok arguing with women, but bro, you know I am somebody. I will respect your opinion, but I will let you know that it's some motherfucking bullshit, bro.
But remember, Mike, I want you to understand something. We are in the interesting business. Be interesting, dog. Don't stop being interested. We're not trying to be right. We're not trying to be wrong. We're trying to get this money and remain interested. I learned it already, Mike. We ain't trying to be right. We're trying to keep it interesting, keep it flowing, and keep the people engaged. Mike, give them your social, give them your last bit of thing you working on this week. Until next time, go ahead, baby. Close out.
Hey, man, check me out. Mikey McCall on Facebook, where McCall at on Instagram. I'm still waiting for the DMs to engage with me. I haven't received any. So I'm thinking that y'all don't fuck with me for real. Show me some love. Tell me you listening. Let me know what's going on.
What
But I would
else you
like to
got going on this week, family? Talk to them.
this week, gym time, baby. 4 days, at least 4 days. I think I'm gonna start fasting again this week. Not a 12-hour fast. That is just absolutely absurd. And I don't know who I thought I was, right? But I want to let you know you can do anything with the power of God. You know, I got to always leave on a spiritual note. I will say that me fasting and me this weight loss journey has been hard for me to continuously have the motivation to do it. The only motivation that I have been able to pull from is the motivation of my loved ones and the motivation of God pushing me. God, I want to be better. I want to change. I want to transform my life. Please help me. I will say this. The Bible says that Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For he knows the plans that he has for you, plans for you to prosper and plans for you not to fail." God don't want you to fail. So if you failing right now, you doing one or two things, not believing or worrying. And you can't do neither one of those things because you can't pray and worry, and you can't worry and pray. So, and you also have to believe. So follow follow your heart and follow God and allow him to carry you when you cannot walk.
My dog, Mike. Tell them your socials one more time before you slide, family.
Where McCall at on Instagram and Mikey McCall on Facebook, man. Love
Do
y'all.
you?
And we will see y'all on TikTok this week. At least
Ooh.
1 to 2
Hey,
times.
she looking for you. Trust me. She already said something. She
Who,
won't get
Cole?
that. KO and the other one. You'll see him. You got a fan base now, dog. You got a fan base. Until next time, family. Peace, Mike.
Peace.
All right, my dog Mike did his thing. Slid on out. Why I'm gonna keep it going, y'all. You know I like to keep this topic going. Share it live, share it live. Hey, fellas, if you get a hey big head text this week, I want you to know why.
If you haven't been paying your student loans, some of your paychecks could soon be going to the government. The Department of Education said that it's going to be collecting payments for student loans that are in default starting on May 5th, and that includes by garnishing wages. When it comes to debt, you're considered delinquent as soon as you miss a payment, the very same day. And when you go a certain amount of time missing those payments, that's when you go into default. For student loans, it's about 270 days, and that's when you'll end up in this situation. The department said that these collections will be done through the Treasury's offset program, and that program seeks to claw back delinquent debts by withholding federal salaries, tax refunds, and Social Security benefits. The Education Department said that more than 5 million people are currently in default, and more than 4 million more could be in the same boat in a few more months. Those who are in default will get emails sent to them in the next 2 weeks telling them what next steps they need to take, and wage garnishment notices will go out later this summer. This is the first time since March 2020 that federal student loans have been sent to collections, and the Education Department said that there will not be any mass student loan forgiveness. Read more about the collection plans.
One more video.
They can't garnish your wages.
Well, let me not play that one, y'all. Let me get to it. Number one, I don't know if y'all remember a few weeks ago, we was pushing that college trend, go to college, all black men ain't going. I want y'all to understand why it's important to know what you want to do before you do something. As sad as it's going to be, there are going to be a lot of people hurting with the high rent hikes, high thing hikes, and garnishment coming out your check. Listen to me. If you are living above your means right now, if you are living paycheck to paycheck, if you have a super enormous car note, turn it in. Nobody else gonna tell you this or talking about this right now, but all my fellas will get a hey big head text in the next few weeks. It's gonna get real out here, y'all. These payments, they're talking about hitting your direct check, garnishing your wages. Do you not realize how much that's gonna change the name of the game? Do you not realize how much that's going to make an impact on people? If you are currently out in this world, if you are currently out here living, surviving, trying to do your thing, if you are living and you owe a lot of money, please make the effort to pay your things back. They're going to take your tax return. They're going to take your money, and you're going to be hurting. That's for everybody. So if you have these high debt rates, please try your best to make it go down. I know the theory is I'm going to keep going to school to might make it pay, but you're going to keep dishing out money. What I am saying, y'all, this time we see right now, this is the time where we got to get back to where the roots are. All this, I'm going to figure it out by myself. No. Figure it out with somebody. Get with somebody. Huddle it up. Make a business plan. Y'all work together. Single idolatry, single identities. You'll be struggling the next year or so. They're attacking it, y'all. The need for families, I'm telling you, it's going to be at an all-time high. People don't think it's a joke. They think it's a game. They don't think it's that real. But they are showing you in real time that they're going to attack your money. All this, we don't need each other rhetoric has to go away. All this, I'm going to figure it out rhetoric has to go away. So I wanted to hit this topic first because it's going to hurt your credit. So if you don't have that, try to get your house. Try to get things taken care of, y'all, because if not, you will be in a bad situation. Remember, this wage garnishment is going to be a game changer. If you have a nice car, a nice house, get rid of the nice car. If you are living above your means, you think you're all right, move your means. Trust me, y'all. Lower yourself, figure it out, because I want y'all to be okay. Because they are already saying they're standing on business right now, and it's scary. On to the next subject, man. Black American identities are really waking up. And I want to give y'all a few videos to show you in real time why this is so powerful and impactful. Shout out to the newest Hollywood director on the scene, Ryan Coogler.
This movie was a very interesting opportunity for me to do some research about my lineage. And I had that opportunity before with the Panther films. And in that situation, you know, me being a foundational Black American, you know, my family has been here, you know, for over 400 years, essentially, you know, in North America. But you know, the Panther films allowed me to travel back to the continent of Africa and spend time there and you know, and contemplate our distant ancestry as it relates to the continent, as it relates to the diaspora. This movie afforded me the opportunity to go back to my more recent lineage, you know, 100 years or so. You know, and go back to, you know, the Mississippi, a state that I had never been to. You know, I'm almost 40 years old, and my matrilineal.
Shout out to the boy, man. Number one, y'all, I had this conversation with some of the guys at the event. Foundational Black American is a term used to identify descendants of slave, i.e. freedmen. FBAs are delineating and distincting themselves because a reparation claim is happening in this country. No matter if you like it or not, it's going down. The claim is what is owed as a debt in this country. What is the precedence to pay that what debt is owed? The American Revolutionary War and the Homestead Act. They are operation things that happen in this country where those who were aggrieved were repaired and restitution was paid. Foundation of Black Americans are owed this. We're standing on lineage business. We began to identify with our lineage more. We begin to have more lineage-based conversations. And we're also gatekeeping the culture. What does that mean? That means when you make derogatory, disrespectful, out the way things, you will be checked. People that have an issue with that, I want you to understand, allow disrespect to be one way. If you have a problem with disrespect and me claiming and standing on what things I feel is right, it lets me know your true intentions. And remember, we don't take it personal. We just address you accordingly. So remember, this Descendants of American Slaves, FBA, that he mentioned, Foundation of Black Americans, is a delineation movement that has been going on. That's why politically the discourse has changed. That's why economically the discourse has changed. That's why all the conversations we've seen in this country have changed. You don't have to like it, but you got to understand it. You don't have to agree with it, but you got to understand it. And for everybody that has the pessimistic outlook and says things and doesn't agree and doesn't philosophy think it should be aligned, I want you to remember one thing. They did not want to integrate, but it happened. Nobody wanted to assimilate, but it happened. Nobody wanted to lay stake or made a claim, but it happened. So no matter what you feel, no matter what you think, the streets, the grassroots, the coming up, the Black community class has spoken. They have self-identified themselves. The movement is strong and heavy. The streets and the corporate class are beginning to speak and build dialogue with each other. You just got to get on and get on the program. Remember, you ain't got to like it, but you got to respect it. And here's another reason why you got to respect it. And I'm going to give it to another brother who is a sitting future congressman out of the great state of South Carolina. Shout out to South Carolina. And he is speaking about the historical context and why you must always be aware. If you don't know him, his name is Greg Marcel Dixon. Huge fan of the brother, the first congressman in history to speak on the reparations platform and task force. I want you to share his logic and listen more.
Equality and really equity that we are entitled to from this nation. That's all we fought for. They come along and racialize things. Reparations inherently is not a racialized matter. It's a matter based on status. It's based on those who are the descendants of those who were emancipated, the people who were here in the United States of America at the conclusion of the Civil War. That's not a racialized thing. That's a thing based on your status and lineage. They come along and racialize reparations. Crime is crime. But like I said to them when I was going at it with them on Twitter, they only care about crime when it's committed by a Black person. So I said to these bigots,
bars. I hope y'all caught that. That was bars and beautifully, eloquently said by this brother. I'm going to keep going.
So when white people kill, murder, and rape, that's okay to you? See, I want all crime to end. I want all people to be penalized for committing atrocities. Y'all only want Black people to be penalized for committing atrocities. So are you really against crime, or are you just against Black people? Because a person who's truly against crime, you will not care about the color of the person. You will want all people to be penalized. And when they go to these statistics, y'all, I'm talking to those in the audience, and anyone who might hear this clip, we need to educate ourselves. We need to stop letting them promote this image of this Black Americans being inherently criminal. Less, and this is supported by FBI data. I went through decades of FBI data myself to see if I could disprove this statistic, and I was not able to. Less, not 1%, less than 1% of the Black population, that means that it even includes Black immigrants, will commit a violent crime any given year. But notice when they bring up statistics, they never bring up how Black Americans are 60%, close to 60% of those who are wrongly convicted of crimes. So even when you look at those in prison, you have to keep in mind, some of them are wrongly convicted, are wrongly in prison. And of the ones we know that have been wrongly convicted and in prison, those are just the ones we found out about. Those are just the ones that a number of organizations actually looked into their cases and later discovered that they should be exonerated. That means there are many more right now sitting behind bars because every damn week every day of a week, you see a black person, usually a black man, who's being exonerated after spending time in prison for something they did not do.
Facts. Now, why is this so important, and why are you emphasizing this type of stuff, King Crowder? The reason why I'm emphasizing this type of stuff, y'all, when we have conversations about the new Black American movement, right? We got to understand that things like this have not been discussed in recent time. When we speak about crime, passion, things that have happened, it is always from a Black is negative point of view. What is being spoken of now is that Black Americans are redefining themselves by saying, no, let's add context to it. So when you add context to it, you must get down to the details. You must deep dive. You must reference point, and you must bring up everything and lay it on the board. And remember, our culture is not just crime and systemics. It's food, it's culture, it's music, it's influence. And certain things are native strictly to our movement. And the reason why I want to bring up those type of things, because as a Black American, if you are not hip or aware of things, it is your job to educate yourself. Not only educate yourself, check stuff. And not trying to be funny, but let's talk about something that I saw recently today. And this right here is disrespectful. Why is it disrespectful, King Crowder? If you do not know anything about our culture, music is extremely influential and it's coming from us. Why would someone outside of the culture make a comment about something that blues and other influential music and artwork came from? If you haven't saw the movie Sinners, it was extremely blues influential inside of the Mississippi Delta during a heightened movement of Jim Crow. Now, listen to this next post.
Good morning. I dreamt that Michael B. Jordan bit me in my sleep. You know how I'm into like spirituality, and I'm very interested by what our ancestors' beliefs here, like the traditional African, our ancestors' beliefs here, like the traditional African beliefs, and the way they presented music, just this magical thing. And in there you saw how blues came from Africa and how blues influenced all type of music, even hip hop and rap music today was just beautiful. And visually I had the chills, like the way the camera was swirling. When I saw the guy, les gars là qui sautent des espèces de concourants, I had chills because I was like, thank you, representation, representation. Africa needs representation in cinema and big films like this.
King Crowder, man, why is it disrespectful to you? Number one, it's disrespectful because it takes away the accomplishments of those that did it. Let me say it again. It's disrespectful because you actually have people that invented it, that actually went through that racism, that experienced it, that faced it, that dealt with it. They went through it. Why would I say to you, right? Hey, I know what your mama did, but what I did outweighed it. What we did as your family lineage 500 years ago, we outweigh it. What you're saying in real time, subtly, we hear what y'all did. We don't really respect it. I hear it. I feel you, but it really don't matter. That's what you're saying in real time. You are saying that Black American accomplishments don't matter. You are saying Black American genre doesn't matter. You are saying what you did, what you set up, what you preferred, what you made happen, what you had to survive, rejoice, overcame, and did. It does not matter. I'm just going to come around, put my thumbprint on it, say what I think it is, and that's what it is. There is no conversation. There is no discussion. It is what I say it is. That's it. Remember, as we have these conversations, I want y'all to understand what it means when we say we're different in real time.
Before with the Panther films, and in that situation, you know, me being a foundational Black American, you know, my family has been here, you know, for over 400 years, essentially, you know, in North America. But you know, the Panther films allowed me to travel back to the continent of Africa and spend time there and you know, and contemplate our distant ancestry as it relates to the continent, as it relates to the diaspora. This movie afforded me the opportunity to go back to my more recent lineage, you know, 100 years or so, you know, and go back to, you know, the Mississippi, a state that I had never been to. You know, I'm almost 40 years old, and my matrilineal grandfather. This movie was a very interesting opportunity for me to do some.
What I want you to understand is Black Americans have been here for over 12 to 15 generations. Mine has been here a lot longer. A lot of us are native to this land. So this qualification we're having about what it is, it's a movement spurred and grown up because the reparation claim is coming and starting. There is no way to stop it. There is no way to prevent it. Only thing you can do from now on is educate yourself on it, cut the check, and support it. No matter if you're for it or against it, it can't stop. It won't stop. We can't be stopped. Moving on to the next topic, man. It was heavy this week about this subject, but I want to go into the backstory of it. And this subject is about Shannon Sharpe. I'm not saying Unc don't deserve what he got, but I do believe what we're not talking about is who made it really pop. Fair use, YouTube. Fair use. Shannon Sharpe story. Broken down.
I don't know if you're on this kind of time, but I was in a group chat the other day, or actually just yesterday, and Shaq said he's paying top dollar for any information on old boy. So, again, I don't know if you're on that kind of time or not, but Shaq is known to throw large sums of money around, so just want to put that out there. Stay quiet. Hey, he said, please, please, please keep it quiet. He said that Shannon did some shit back to him a while back, and he's been off him. So that's why he's doing this. But please, please, please keep his name quiet.
To that. Have you guys talked? We haven't. Shaq feels the way he feels, and he's perfectly fine to feel that way. I said what I said. I still think Shaq is a phenomenal basketball player, even though, you know, he minimized my career. I'm fine. The thing is, first don't fuck your bitch in the click you claim. West Side.
I was on that point. What I want y'all to think about is this. When the Shannon Sharpe thing went about, wasn't it interesting how it all came about quickly? And if you don't find it interesting, I want to show you something. To me, my spotty senses go up when you know this was happening. Shannon Sharpe was eyeing $100 million podcast deal as his deal with his current network partner, The Volume, expires. So Shannon Sharpe has built himself up outside of ESPN. His podcasting, his Ocho and Cinco, everything he's done to make himself self-sufficient outside of the major news networks. And while he made himself self-sufficient outside the major news network, a hit piece was dropped. And a hit piece was dropped accusing him of a sexual crime, right? We take it seriously. We're not saying it didn't happen. We're not even speaking on that subject alone because I do believe you are innocent until proven guilty, right? But we can see from his counsel, from his videos, through multiple things being said, Mr. Sharpe has defended himself. Mr. Sharpe has said, hey, I'm innocent. This is a shakedown. He has even made a publicly video. Let me see if I can find it right quick for y'all. For those that have not seen it. Let me see. He has spoken about it in many forms and been honest about it. He's been transparent. He's been detailed. And I want to play it for you right here, y'all, right? Fair use, fair use. Fair uses.
And from the heart. To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets Black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Shannon Sharpe was candid, honest, and detailed about it. Now, I know everybody got their opinion, man. Why was he dealing with the young white girl? Why he put himself in this position? Why? I want to start something out. Y'all are absolutely right to ask those questions. Y'all are absolutely right to ask, why did he choose to live his lifestyle? Why didn't he choose to adjust himself? But my question is, that nobody else is not talking about, before we get into that, we do realize this is extortion, right? Extortion is me doing something, making you bend the will of me to be a blackmail or things to make something happen. And why is the same attorney allowed to do this over and over? Why is the same attorney who's doing things we see have repeatedly happened? Why? The reason why I find this subject extremely interesting is this. We know who Mr. Busby is, right? He was the same one that went after Jay-Z recently with a false story. Why is his credibility strong? Why haven't we viewed him as someone who is chasing crimes to get money from people? Right, wrong, or indifferent, that is not a conversation we have had. Every conversation we have had is about Unk's sexual improprieties, which he deserved criticism on. But my conversation is that we know corruption and things are happening in real time. Why aren't we speaking on how those things are actually having an effect on someone in real time and in real motion? Secondly, the whole conversation about the young lady being a certain age. Yes, she is a certain age, right? What I want to ask from people is this. Unk did not have the best discernment dealing with that young girl. Of course, right? Not touching that one. Why is it? That's kind of weird. Why is it? Somebody, definitely a spoof channel, right? Why is it that we don't see how those things happen in real time? You know what I'm saying? What you got to understand is that he is not guilty outrightly. The courts is not a criminal matter. It's a civil matter, right? So that means I'm suing you for money. Not for criminal legal improprieties, not from anything. What I'm suing you for is money. So what has to happen now in the men world? Sorry for losing my train of thought. Y'all was reading as I was thinking about it. Number one, as a man, you must have more discernment. Bottom line. As a man, as harsh as it is to say, you have to be more critical, more on guard, less available, less accessible to women, especially if you don't know them. It is dangerous for you to be a single man out here dating and have things to lose. You must move accordingly now. You can't fly him out because of the man act with R. Kelly. You can't have consensual text message due to Shannon Sharpe and what is being said. What we are seeing right now is that relationships will be really transactional. So, as the statement said in this draft, Shannon Sharpe's counsel released this and what was said in a relationship with a party. Both of them have been communicating in love and had an active relationship. What this means is now transactional relationships will be the norm. You're going to see it happen. You're going to see, I gave you this, you gave me that. Relationships in America have already been struggling, right? Marriages have already been struggling. But now what we see with this culture and this thing starting to happen to men who are really building themselves up, really starting to financially depend upon themselves, we're going to see them pull back. And as a man, you should. It is dangerous for you to be a man in this country and not have your thing together. It is dangerous for you to be a man in this country and not take impropriety strongly. It is dangerous for you to be a man in this country and to move reckless. Protect yourself. Protect your actions. Protect your abilities. Protect your sayings. Protect your shortcomings. Protect your lifestyle. Protect your understandings. If nobody else comes to say it to you, protect yourself. The whole way we moved 20 years ago, y'all, is obsolete. The way we moved 10 years ago is obsolete. If you are a brother, a man that has things going on, you cannot move recklessly. You cannot ghost a girl no more. You can't. You cannot text you and say, I've changed feelings. You can't. One allegation, one saying will ruin your life. We have to move differently. Moving differently means you have to record maybe some things. You have to get things in writing. You have to legally protect yourself. You have to do things differently. And why is this being said? The landscape has changed. And I want y'all to understand, not just men saying it, it's women commenting on why it is so differently.
Whenever I see dark-skinned men who look like Shannon Sharpe, where they have like very strong Afro features, most of them got so much self-hate in them. When they get with non-Black women, they let those women run over them and do whatever they want. And those women know the position that they in. They know the power that they hold in the relationship dynamic. They know that those men are obsessed with their whiteness, obsessed with them not being Black, and pedestalize them so much that they can really do what they want to do and get away with it. And they take full advantage of it. And that's the reason why this ain't the first time Shannon Sharpe has been in a situation like this with a non-Black woman. Like he's been in a lot of situations where at his age, he should know better than to have put himself in the position that he's in right now. And that's the reason why I really can't feel bad for him, because you too old. You too old and you done been through too much already to be making rookie mistakes like this. But these old men kill me. You still want to be a little player out here in the streets, messing around with all these young girls instead of...
I ain't judging a man for wanting to be a player. What I am judging a man for is learning the player rules are different. Live your life, huh? You a multi-millionaire, a self-made Hall of Fame. You have done your thing. But you cannot operate like you did 20 years ago. That's the reality of the thing. And right now, the underlying things that Marcellus Wiley articulated beautifully is that we are currently experiencing a chess match. Fair use, everybody. Fair use. I want you to see this and listen.
Slandered or his name not being held in the highest honor, Tony Busby, doesn't really matter. And not in the court system, because one, most cases don't even go to trial. They get settled, right? And there's two ways to settle it. One, that nobody knows that you settled it, but you did. Or two, we all know you settled it because there was a case, and what happened to that case? It just went away. So let's talk about that. In this situation, Shannon Sharpe, either A, was given a demand letter between January and when this case was actually filed, so mid-April. There's a demand letter. Hey, Shannon Sharpe, $50 million, or I'm going to tell the world and file this case. And Shannon Sharpe, either A, received that letter, said, tell the world. Or B, he never received that letter because they wanted to go to the world first. But the point of this is a lot of misinformation saying, oh, Shannon Sharpe was up for $100 million podcast deal once this deal is over at the volume, and now you're going to file this. Well, this was in the works privately weeks ago. I would say months ago. But this did not just happen overnight because of a podcast deal.
Sprint Marcellus Wiley. What he's also adding into context is this, y'all. The law's a dirty game. If you are a person that has means, especially if you're a male in this country, you have to understand that the laws are different. They are. And I know people don't like to say it. We try to say we're equal. We are not equal. Certain ethnicities, nationalities get the benefit of the doubt. And if you a man going into this power dynamic and acting like it ain't gonna happen to me, that's your fault. The law does not excuse ignorance or foolishness. It doesn't. So you have to know there is a danger dealing with women outside of your ethnicity. They are presumed innocent, and you are going to be presumed guilty. And I'm going to give you a TikToker who made a perfect video summarizing this, and I don't believe many black men understand.
I had my first interaction with white women in Florida today, bro. And when I tell you they are NPCs, finito. I'm in the hot tub of my apartment complex, AirPods on, reading my book, Frank Ocean's playing. It's a smooth vibe. I'm enjoying my night, right? And like 5 of these white girls come into the hot tub and they're drinking some wine. They're having a good time and they're kind of loud, but it's doable. Hit the noise cancellation on the AirPods. It's a smooth vibe. I don't hear nothing. Call Me Beats by Dre. And I'm reading this book. One of the white girls just goes, "Oh, hella loud. What are you reading?" I'm like, fuck.
Moments I want to say thank you and fuck you. And
My bad. Hold on. My bad. I ain't mean to skip past it. Yeah, I can excuse me. Y'all excuse
I had
me.
my first interaction with
Moments I want to say thank you.
Let's see if it lets me go back. If not, then I'll summarize it some more.
I had my first interaction with Beats by Dre. And I'm reading this book. One of the white girls just goes, "Oh, hella loud. What are you reading?" I'm like, fuck. I heard her. I can't just like ignore her. The hot tub is only what 5 feet. So I'm like, oh, this is why not? Why Greatness is Unplanned. It's a great book. You should read it, right? And then she immediately follows it up saying, "What do you do?" Right? I don't know this girl. I'm trying to be nice because I'm from Seattle, and usually we would just ignore your existence if you even made eye contact with us. So I'm just trying to be nice, get my reps in so I can get better at talking to people. I'm like, I do digital marketing and I am building a media company that where I create short films, right? Boom. So after that, she's like, "Oh, we're graduating college. We need jobs. Can you hire us for your marketing?" And I was like, no, I'm good. I don't need any of that. I'm cool. Then she says, "What if we show you our tits?" What? What are you talking about, twin? And like 3 other white girls, they're all agreeing with her, like smiling and shit, drinking their wine. I'm just like, dog, I laugh hella awkward. I get out the pool and I just head back to my apartment complex. Because like, bro, what type of, the trajectory of their lives is cooked in 2 to 5 years.
And we have a lot of flaws in our business.
What he's saying, y'all, in real time is that temptation approaches all of us, right? But as a man, especially if you're on your purpose, hearing something outlandish that sounds salaciously good, if you don't make a choice, nah, I can't deal with that. You're going to play yourself. What he said is, I was in the hot tub, headphones on, reading my book. Some woman distracted me, asking me questions. I was properly introducing, saying what I did. Once they found out you did well and what you did, a sexual advance went to you. If he was a guy that was undisciplined, he would have jumped on it. But as a focused, intentional man in this environment, you got to move like that. You got to be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want nothing. Because nothing, the women that are the freest cost you the most money. Let me say it again. The women that are the freest, y'all, cost you the most money. You got to understand, until you build something, develop something with that woman, you got to have the discernment to know, I got to leave that situation alone. Leaving that situation alone is just walking away, not responding, not articulating yourself, and choosing whatever you got to make sure, number one, you leave safely. So now that we've gone on the laws of the land now and how they've changed, my last 3 topics for the day. One is going to be controversial, but I definitely think we got to dive into it. Hey, share the live. Share the live. And if you haven't seen, Young Thug is in his musical work. He's trying to release an album. Let's see what he's talking about.
Atlanta? Yeah.
A big family. I know you guys are close.
Yeah.
Are you still around then?
Absolutely.
Well, I say, because if I understand correctly, tell me if I'm wrong, that like part of your probation is you can't go home, right? You can't go back to Atlanta?
Yeah. Only for like certain things.
Only for certain things.
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's home.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I
You're
was
like-
already out of Atlanta before this case.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I live in LA.
Like fully in LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Since like 2017.
So you don't really feel like you're in exile or anything?
Yes.
You do?
Absolutely.
Well, if you can't go back, then I guess by definition, right?
Can't go home. It's crazy.
What does that feel like?
It just feels like abuse.
Before all this happened, I think Atlanta was like the center of rap culture. Do you think it still is?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We create the wave. You got other places that's popping for sure. Like everybody's popping now.
Yeah.
But like everybody still like sound like Atlanta or like move to Atlanta or rap about Atlanta. It's like we got artists from a whole other place rapping about Atlanta.
Even if you're not there, I assume you still feel like one of the kind of leaders of that scene, that city. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the guys that plowed Atlanta into the rap industry.
You would put yourself in that category?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who else would you put in that category?
Future, Savage, Lil Baby, Migos, Tip, Andre 3000, Gucci.
That's the Mount Rushmore right there.
Absolutely. We got.
Can we stop it right now, Thugger? Did you really make a list and you disrespect Jeezy like that? Lil Baby, yes. Future, Andre 3000, Gucci, Jeezy gotta be there. Migos gotta be there. Gunna gotta be there. No disrespect, Ludacris gotta be there. Lil Baby 21, I don't know if they better than Gunna. I know neither one of them don't have a resume of Jeezy. As we talk about Atlanta gods, we got to be able to be honest about something. 21 ain't from Atlanta. He from London. If we doing that thing towards Jeezy and Ludacris, we got to do the default things. Migos from Gwinnett. Are they from Atlanta? I don't know. But if we talking about these real things and real influential, I don't think Thug is that. I mean, Thug has great musical. I love Thug. I love his artistry. But is he on that top manufactured thing from the Atlanta market scene? I don't know. I don't know. But to be disrespectful by not having a true Mount Rushmore list and not saying Jeezy ain't on it, it's crazy to me. I'm just saying. He probably ain't going to say nothing publicly, but his album, he has a better album than almost everybody on that list. Better 2-3 albums, still 2-3 runs that are actively going. So when we mention things about music, influence, what we got to understand, y'all, let me truly be biased. And the Atlanta music scene has been hot this whole time. I mean, that's the truth. I ain't going to disrespect nothing about Atlanta. Atlanta has been leading the way. They've been pioneering. The sound has been incredible. But let's say hip-hop is in the lull right now, right? Hip-hop hasn't really produced any in a while. Keep it real. So, with that being said, as you hear these things about lists and trajectory we got going on, K-Dot really winning rap music right now. It is what it is. And the reason why, he is redefining what the origin was. Hip-hop at its origin, if you do not know, y'all, rap is journalism. Country is reflective. R&B is love. Blues is sadness and compassion. All these art forms are a symbolism on Black Americans' culture. So what you are seeing is that all of these things that were developed by us are starting to be uprooted and shown. So when we see these things and these things continue to go up, you will see parts in history why this is so important. And the reason why I say country is one of our biggest sound that we got to get back to, because if we are not reflective on real things that happen, we will have things that happen in real time that we notice and we don't say nothing about. I.e., Sinners movie. You know, when the Sinner movie came out, we talked about it and discussed it. But do we ever break down how the Chinese influence and how they've had disrespectful comments sent in? Let's take a listen.
Good afternoon. I'm Yu.
This is them going against reparations publicly.
No, AB7. Thank you.
Thank you.
So she is saying no to any reparations for the descendants of slave Black Americans.
Good afternoon. My name is Charles Wong. I'm a member of California Professional Scientists Association, and I oppose this bill. Thank you.
Think about this. They have equal rights for Californians, but not for foundational Black Americans.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Xu. I'm with Californians for Equal Rights Foundation. I strongly oppose AB7. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want you to think about this. Mississippi Delta, history that's been taught, descendants of Black Americans, chattel slavery, going against the grain, everything that we learned and did, right? But you still have those that oppose the justice. King Crowder, man, why are you talking about this, man? Why are you bringing up who opposing justice? We having these strong feelings, these allocations, why things continue to happen? Because we don't talk about it enough. And why don't we talk about it enough? Because real important issues, I've noticed, do not get as much buzz in pub as the sensational stuff, as the fun things to talk about. For example, Carmelo Anthony, the young boy that was involved with a manslaughter potential homicide case in Frisco, Texas, is hiding right now. Hiding. Why is he hiding? They all have to hide this gentleman like he's a part of the cartel mob boss due to potential assassination attempt. I want to think about this for a second. He has not gotten his day in court. He has not had his equal rights read to him. He has not went through the proper justice and legal system. He has not went into the proper guidelines or being vetted, but he has already been threatened with investigations and allegations against his life. So when we talk about real things for Black Americans, foundation of Black Americans happening in real time, this is what we're referring to. We're referring to issues that will affect us now. So we have these conversations about what's right, what's wrong, what's going on, what's tend to target us. This is what we mean. So as we continue to break down this information like we do on the Crowder Gang, King Crowder channel, I want you to leave here with something on your spirit. Sinners, the movie, is going to the representations. Ryan Coogler is going to the representation of Foundation of Black Americans. The grassroots level for Black Americans is starting to speak on this subject. The wave is coming. Tonight's live was, are you too proud, too loud, or too black? Remember, too black is a metaphor for indifferent. Blacks in America have been in resistance. Resistance culture, resistance energy, resistance thought process. Nobody likes people that push them back. That's just a fact. You don't have to like the wave, but you got to understand symbolically what it means. And on today's live, I want you to understand and why these things are so powerful. I'm here to teach you, educate you, give you game on why all of these talking points are phenomenal. Again, the young man Carmelo Anthony has experienced things from different times. He has to go and hide it to prevent himself from a court case for a crime that's allegedly going to happen. Along with you going yourself into the future week, I want you to process all these things we talked about, from Shedeur Sanders, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, to Shannon Sharpe, Carmelo Anthony, and even that judge that escaped with the ICE victims. I want you to think about yourself and where do you see yourself going. Me this week, I have my cards coming in officially. Shout out to us. I have a convention, I have work, I have wife, I have family. All those things are leading me into the direction that I should be heading to. Yes, I'm nervous about it. I'm also proud. Why? Because I know I'm going in the right direction. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt your goals. Don't doubt your availability. Continue to work hard. And most important, provide for your family. Be productive. Be wise. Be sound. Remember, the legacy you lead will lead you far so past any other things around. It's your boy, King Crowder. Back again with another edition of Live on Sunday. I am so grateful that y'all got to chop it up with me this evening, man. It has been so phenomenal. I want y'all to understand that I appreciate y'all for catching me live. I appreciate the vibes. I appreciate the talking points. I appreciate everything else that we talked about. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash, like, comment. Your boy is not too far from 1,000. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get my YouTube hours. I'm trying to get my money. I'm trying to get things flowing. I'm so happy for the join. I'm so happy to be a creator in a creative space. And I am so happy to continue to add value to each and every one. Make sure you let me know what you thought. Good, bad, and different. I'm all for it. Speaker Crowder, author Crowder, coach Crowder. They all in one, baby. Hopefully, I teach you. Hopefully, I help you. And hopefully, you are a better person from the start of this video to the end of this video. Remember, you are in charge of you. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your family. And most importantly, have fun, baby. Check on your friends, your loved one. It's Sunday. Let them know you love them, you care them, you think about them. Remember, everything is not promised tomorrow. Until next time, just say peace. Peace. Thank y'all for watching.